Day 54 of the Atlantic Hurricane Season, day number 72 in the Eastern Pacific, where we currently have a few invests which are still located in the Northern Hemisphere. First of all, Invest 98E, which has a medium chance development out in the open Eastern Pacific, moving out to sea at the moment. Invest 98L, which is the one we're watching in particular, because that has a high chance of development now into a tropical depression, maybe a tropical storm for the Atlantic, in the Central Atlantic, as it will be moving into very shortly. And 98W in the Western Pacific, which is just off the Chinese coast at the moment, in the South China Sea. That one isn't likely to form in the next 2 days, but 98E there is further on the right of the image. That currently has a medium chance. The models are developing it, but it is taking its time getting its act together and developing at the moment. And Invest 98L in the Atlantic is the only thing that's going on at the moment, though the models are hinting, or at least one of them is, of further development of other storms. But at the moment we have 98L, which is just moving past the Cape Verde Islands at the moment towards the south. Passing towards the south of those islands, moving out to sea into the Atlantic. The Indian Ocean remaining quiet at the moment, as is expected this time of year. Not really much to be said here. No storms expected to develop over the next 2 days or so. As you can see here, not much in terms of organised storms. Looking at the sea surface temperatures, and waters remaining warm off the coast of Mexico and the Central American coast into the Eastern Pacific. The Gulf of Mexico remaining warm as well, as is the Caribbean, though there is a bit of a cool spot where the current Invest 98L is headed towards, and that could interfere with any development that takes place as it moves away from the African continent. Also in the Western Pacific we have warm waters here, as always. Near the Philippines in particular, we're looking at warm waters here, and that could be very advantageous to the next storm that forms in that area, which one of the models is hinting at that. Invest 98L and in the Atlantic, 30 mile per hour winds at the moment, pressures 1008 millibars, a 60% chance of development as per the National Hurricane Centre at midnight UTC this morning, and the storm's expected to take a generally west-northwest direction. This one might be perhaps biased towards the north slightly, this track forecast. It might dip towards the south further. It's very much a wait-and-see scenario with that one. Invest 98E is also located in the Pacific here. The Eastern Pacific winds currently 30 miles per hour, pressures slightly lower, 1007 millibars, and is expected to move towards the west-northwest, maybe more towards the northwest initially, and then is likely to curve towards the west and possibly affect the Hawaiian Islands, maybe as a remnant though, as the storm weakens in around 6 days' time. And looking at the Western Pacific overview map then, you can see here Invest 98W off to the left, still very disorganised, not likely to develop, currently delivering lots of rain and possibly to the Philippines, especially over Hainan Island at the moment in China, rainfall over there and onto the mainland as well. Some clouds associated with the storm moving over that region. There is a bit of a storm off to the right hand side as well. It was Invest 99W, but that's been declassified recently, but that's still something to watch out for. This is currently Invest 98L in the Atlantic. You can see it moving past the Cape Verde Islands, the central core of the storm, moving towards the west at the moment. You can see it most clearly perhaps here, the grey colours being the centre of the storm, the main core, where the most intense of the weather is. Invest 98E is in the Pacific as well. You can see it here, out at sea at the moment, not affecting any land areas. You can see the most intense storms are off to its north, displaced to the north of the centre at the moment, but I think that could turn into a tropical storm in the next few days, but obviously that remains to be seen. The models certainly have it doing that. The CMC model first of all then has the storm in the Eastern Pacific, then followed by another one, and maybe even another one after that in the Eastern Pacific. As for the Atlantic, it has Invest 98 forming perhaps into a tropical depression or storm, and perhaps even 2 other storms forming in the Atlantic as well, maybe. The ECMWF model is looking fairly unclear, fairly quiet as it seems at the moment, but developing that storm in the Eastern Pacific, and another one at the very end which forms pretty much in the same place as Invest 98E is currently located. GFS model also develops 98E and another storm possibly behind that. As for 98L, it does have it moving through the Lesser Antilles, possibly as a tropical depression or weak tropical storm maybe, but we'll see about that one. The NavGem model takes 98E into a tropical storm status, maybe a strong tropical storm as it moves off to the west, and doesn't really hint at any of the development after that. The GFDL model brings 98L as a minimal tropical storm, I believe, as it moves out through the Central Atlantic and has it dissipated by the time it reaches the Leeward Islands. And the HWRF model takes it as a tropical storm as well, moving towards the west-northwest initially, and then moving back towards the west. And again, dissipating or becoming a remnant low near the Lesser Antilles. The CMC model for the Western Pacific is certainly interesting, developing a rather intense typhoon near the Philippine coast as it moves towards the northwest, brushing the Philippines and then making landfall in Taiwan. Another storm for Taiwan, and another storm forming in the South China Sea on that one as well. The GFS model has a bit of a system in the South China Sea near the Vietnam coastline, possibly not as a tropical storm, but certainly a disturbance that may dump a lot of heavy rains over that region. Looking at the overall predicted season scores then, no tropical storms have formed yet. It could be a very different scenario tomorrow, but as of July 24th at midnight, the scores remain. First place Ken with 75 points, in second place Typhoon Both with 67, and in third place is William with 67 points. You can submit your own predictions online at the website force13.com/interactive. Just click the 2013 Predictor Season button and submit your totals, and it will be put up on the leaderboard in due course. Now don't forget, do hurry up with it, because the scores do go down as time goes on, as accuracy, skill reduces, because obviously it's less far out. So I would hurry up with that one. July 24th, on this day, then what happened? 1961, Hurricane Anna dissipated over Belize. In 1975, Tropical Storm Blanche formed in the Atlantic. In 1986, Tropical Storm Frank, that was pictured there, formed in the Eastern Pacific. The next year, Tropical Storm Fernanda also formed in the Eastern Pacific. That was also pictured there as well. And in 1990, Tropical Storm Bertha formed in the Atlantic. In 1995, Tropical Storm Delilah formed in the Eastern Pacific. In 1996, Tropical Storm Caesar formed near Trinidad and Tobago. In 2003, Imbudo made landfall in China as a Category 2 storm, resulting in 20 fatalities and $303 million in damages. And in 2004, Tropical Storm Nantheon formed in the Western Pacific. That Imbudo there is pictured as a typhoon before it made landfall in China. There. In 2005, Tropical Storm Gert made landfall in Mexico. That one's pictured right there, making landfall. The seventh storm in 2005 hurricane season, obviously very historic. 2010, Tropical Storm Bonnie dissipated. In 2011, Tropical Storm Noctem formed in the Western Pacific. That one's pictured in its very early stages, as it was as a tropical depression, as a matter of fact. And also that same year, Hurricane Dora dissipated in the Eastern Pacific on this day, July the 24th. And don't forget, you can track any storm that forms, including the ones that may form very soon, on the website force13.com/storm tracking. That's the main page for the storm tracking information, which shows you the overview map where the storms are, and at the top and bottom tables which show which storms are where in which basin and their intensities, and any warnings that are currently in effect in any land areas. But I don't foresee any storm warnings going out anytime soon for any of these storms that we currently have ongoing, but that may change, maybe with some future storms that may happen ahead of time. But that's the website, force13.com/storm tracking, and you can go basin by basin in depth to see the tracking maps and any more warnings in further detail, obviously, when that becomes relevant. And the social pages, YouTube, Facebook and Twitter, Force 13 is on all three of those. Please do feel free to take a look at all of them, and I very much appreciate your support, doing any of the usual mediums of engagement, liking, favoriting, subscribing, following, liking, or anything else that I may have forgotten. Did I repeat one of those? Possibly. And also, I'd just like to mention as well, the new Storm Discussion Forum will be launching at around 6 p.m. UTC. That's 2 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow on the website force13.com. Make sure you check it out, because it could be rather interesting to discuss storms. It gives you a little bit of an outlet to perhaps talk about storms that are currently ongoing, and indeed any storms in the past as well. Hope you enjoy it, and that'll be coming up tomorrow. And bulletins as well. Another bulletin, Tropical Weather Bulletin number 47. That will be around the same time, midnight UTC on Thursday morning. That's the 25th of July, but that's all for now.